Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me?
There we go.
Okay, the first thing that we would like to do is we would like to walk you through how we use the program. So this is your screen that you will have accessible for your district. And today we're going to be looking at this program, Launch to Literacy, because that's the one for kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. So I'm going to open this up. And today, if you take a look at the agenda, do you all have the agenda? It says that you're going to be doing foundational reading level A. Foundational reading level A. So if I look at here, this is the foundational and this is level A. So this is the one that pertains to you. If you take a look on this side here, we have level A, level B, level C. Then you have booklets, because sometimes you're going to use booklets for your students, and you have the posters. Joe will go over the posters so you can actually access them through here. But let me open up here, level A. If you would like to know the program description, it's right here. If you would like to know about the placement, how we place the students, it's over here. If you would like to know the scope and sequence of this program, it's right here. And if you want to see the alignment to standards, because this program is aligned to the ELD standards. So I'm just going to open up scope and sequence. And this is for level A. And if I look at here, the first page, it tells you the component descriptions. If you want to find out what is the phonemic awareness, when do they do it, what is the spelling, we do it, it starts in week number 4. What are the high frequency words that we use? What is the meaning of rotation stations? What is the meaning of quizzes and assessments? This is the page to go. But we also have for you week by week delineation of what we do. Week number 1 is usually in our work, because you have kindergarteners, is to get them used to your classroom. You're not going to be able to do that. So our recommendation is that you start in week number 2, because that's when we start content. And if you notice, all our weeks, we always cover 2 sounds. It says here, the sounds that we're going to be covering is for the letter T. For short A, we're going to be doing tools for the school, and then we're going to be doing other lessons. So week number 2, you're going to be doing sound T, sound A, and then you're going to be doing I like for your words to know, and then you're going to do school tools.
Fantastic, Sylvia. Sylvia, I think now would be a good time to do our first checking for understanding question. Okay. What would be a good checking for understanding question to ask all of these people on this chat today? Okay,
so how would you find what type of content to teach students? Why don't you go ahead and see if you can chat with us?
Sylvia, can I just mention one thing? Good morning, everyone. We're trying to, we want to simulate how we create engagement via Zoom using our strategies. So what Sylvia's doing right now is how you would, she's modeling how she's checking for understanding, how you would check for understanding for your students at home when you're teaching them a lesson through Zoom or through any type of remote learning. We have to see if one of the keys to EDI is, are we understanding are the students understanding the information we're giving them? And so this will be one of the ways we're trying to do it through Zoom. So go ahead, Sylvia.
The question that I had is how you would make sure, how you check for the content that you're going to be teaching.
Yeah, the scope and sequence is part of it. But of course, you got, if you want to look at the alignments, you can go in here. And if you actually want to look at the lessons themselves, you could click the level A lessons.
Okay, now level A, I'm going to open that up. And that is actually divided up into 4 different quarters. And if you take a look at every quarter, we say that the first quarter covers 9 weeks, the second quarter covers 9 weeks, and it's the same throughout every single quarter here. We also have quite a few teacher resources for you. These are resources that you will use throughout the whole year. So you have the alphabet cards, you have the whiteboard inserts. That's a very important component of this program. For kindergarteners and first graders, since they do not know how to read, we just ask them to show us a green dot or to show us a red one. So that's the way we check for understanding. So those are the resources that you will have that is going to really help you as far as finding information in this program. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the 45 minutes. This program is supposed, if you're using it as a literacy program, it takes 2.5 hours. But the ELD program only takes 45 minutes because that's all you have to teach. So I'm going to open up my 45 minutes. And if you look at your agenda, it says, you have reading foundational. If you are going to be teaching reading foundational, you select this group here in blue. And then it says reading comprehension. If you're going to be doing reading comprehension, you do the green group. So this program is divided up. So if you are teaching the students the basic component of reading, you will do the blue section that will do listening and speaking, phonemic awareness, phonics, high frequency words. If you are doing reading comprehension, that's when you do your language and your writing, listening and speaking, reading comprehension. Language means that you're going to be teaching the students nouns and verbs, and then you're going to be doing quite a bit of writing. So depending on what your assignment is, you will select reading comprehension or reading foundation. So I'm going to go over on the reading foundation and I'm going to open it up. And this is a program that is already pre-done for you. It's already ready to go. The only thing is that we really have to think about how we're going to teach it. The teaching is really the tricky part, and that's what Joe is going to be doing. You have day 1, and it tells you exactly what we're going to be doing. For kindergarteners, we usually leave the first week, which is week number 1 here, for you to get used, or for the kindergarteners to get used to your classroom. We do a lot of follow the rules, follow rules for discussion. We do a lot of activities that are going to get them to be students in your classroom. So today, we are not going to do that because we would like to show you how we look into a lesson. And if you notice at week number 2, that's when we're going to start teaching the students, and we start with the phonemic awareness, and that's the lesson that we have selected for you. And phonemic awareness, of course, comes coupled with phonics and also with the high frequency words. If you notice this program gets the students to start reading words in 4 weeks. So it's important that we follow the sequence of the sounds. So in 4 weeks, the students start blending words. We use the accelerated phonics program, so the students get enough sounds of the most high frequently used sounds, so we can start making words. So I'm going to open up the phonemic awareness lesson. Phonemic awareness, and that is the lesson that you will be teaching to teach students these sounds. I'm going to stop here because Joe is going to take over as far as how we actually teach these lessons.
All right, good morning, everyone. Can everyone see my posters now?
Yes.
Sylvia will show you how to navigate that, but basically, when you open up any Launch to Literacy, on the left-hand side, you're going to see level A, B, C, booklets, and posters. Now, the challenge with remote learning that we're going to have is how to engage our students, how to use our engagement strategies, and how to check for understanding. That's going to be very, very difficult because we have to see if the students are getting it. I mean, it's very difficult to see if our students are learning if we're just orally telling them this information, especially little ones. So our engagement norms are the first ones. We have pronounce with me, track with me, and read with me. I'm going to show these. These are to support reading fluency. Pronounce with me is when we pronounce a very large word, and that's just one word that I'm going to choose. Track with me, read with me is when I'll do full sentences. So now I have to go back to my lesson. We're going to do identify characters today. So I have a lesson, identify characters. This would be your lesson that you would find level A, quarter 1, week 6, day 27. First of all, you have to train our students how to do this from home. They're going to have to know that when we say pronounce with me, you're reading with me. I have to hear them. So everyone's going to have to unmute, and we're going to have to teach them how to check for understanding. Kindergartners in first grade might be a little difficult to do thumbs up, thumbs down. They're going to have some technology issues, but that's why we have the red dot, or what I have green dot. I don't have an official dot, green dot or red dot. They might have to, but they can do it back and forth from home. And usually it'll be a red dot on one side and a green dot. And even that's going to be very sophisticated to do for kindergartners. But one thing we have to do, the way you learn how to read and the way you learn another language is by speaking it. So if they're just orally listening to us at home, it's not going to be as effective. So when I pronounce with me, I look for one word in my lesson. I'll scan my lesson. Now, this has to be a high leverage word. It has to be something like either a concept or an academic word I'm going to use throughout the lesson. Characters might be one, identify, but I wouldn't do a Josie. I'm going to pre-pronounce characters, and then I'm going to show you what track with me, read with me looks like. All right. And remember, you're my little kindergartners at home or my little first graders. Okay, students, let's take a look at this word here. Can everyone see the mouse? This word is characters. Can everyone read that? And remember, everyone unmute themselves, please. All the teachers. Okay.
Oh, that's not going to work.
That's not going to work? Okay. How about Denise and Stacy? We'll have you unmute, and then everyone else will be on mute for now. Let's read this word, but everyone I want reading at home as well, even if you're on mute. Characters. Can you read that?
Characters.
Again?
Characters.
All right. Now we're going to pronounce with me is just reading one word that they're going to use throughout the lesson to really practice reading it and learning how to read it. Now this is what track with me, read with me looks like. My turn. We will identify students. Go ahead. We will
Identify.
Characters. Your turn.
Characters.
In a story.
In a story.
Now let's try to put that whole sentence together. My turn. We will identify characters in a story. Now read with me, please. We will identify characters in a story. Very nicely done. Okay. So also to keep in mind, we're not going to track with me, read with me, everything to our students, because then we would lose the focus of our lesson. Here's how we're going to check for understanding with our students. Answer the following questions. Okay, class, which picture is a person? And we've trained our students how to use green dot for yes, red dot for no. Okay? As teachers, since you don't have whiteboards in front of you, you're going to give me a thumbs up for yes or a clap hands for no. Where'd Joe go? He was going to explain this part.
I'm here.
The reactions part.
Joe, yeah, the reaction buttons.
Yes, everyone.
I'm sorry, when I'm sharing the screen, I don't have that option.
Yeah.
So can everyone show me thumbs up or clap hands from home?
That's right. At the bottom of your screen, there should be a little happy face symbol that's reactions. If you go and click on that right now, you'll have a hand symbol or you'll have a thumbs up symbol. And let's go ahead and see everyone do that. Thank you, Maribel. Thank you, Lupe. Okay, Miss Maria, thank you. And Miss Sanchez, yeah, that's gonna be down the bottom there. I can see your team looking at that. That's good. Oh, yes, thank you, Lupe. Some of you might be in the same room, and when you unmute, it does create a feedback.
It's going to be tricky with our kindergartners in our first grades. It's very difficult to teach them this in the actual classroom where we're doing this reinforcing. So what I will recommend is at least we can teach them how to show me red dot for no, green dot for yes. Okay, and if they can do that, John, can you show them what that looks like?
I think we've got it right here.
Green dot for yes, red dot for no. And then, and John would be a model of my students, I would say, okay, now I can check for understanding. Which picture is a person? Let's look at this picture right here, class. Is this picture a person? Show me with your red dot, green dots, or at home, thumbs up for yes, clap hands for no. Go ahead.
Joe, can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
In the classroom, we don't usually like the physical thumbs up, thumbs down. The kids kind of meander. But maybe at home for very young students, if the clicking the mouse is too complicated, we may have to allow a physical thumbs up, thumbs down.
That's not a bad idea right there. Thumbs up. Yeah, but what we see in the classroom is this, and we're just trying to see if the students are getting it. We do know one thing. If the teacher is the only one talking and transmitting the information to the students at home, they're not retaining this information. So we have to find a way to get them engaged, and we have to check for understanding. It's very difficult to just be a passive listener because we're not all auditory listeners. So anyway, we can try to create engagement. So let's try that with the thumbs up. Which picture is a person? Can you look over here? Is this picture a person? Everyone show me at home. Everyone thumbs up or thumbs down? Yes. Yep. And you'd look at your students and then you'd call, and you can even get them to justify. Lupe, can you tell me why do you think this picture is a person? Can you justify your answer?
Because she has a face and a neck.
That's right, and a smile. And what we're trying to do is just to get them to understand, eventually we will make the connection. Students, you already know how to tell the difference between a person or an animal or thing in a story. We call people, animals, and things characters. Today we're going to identify characters in a story. So that's activating prior knowledge. That's how we will pronounce with me, track with me, read with me. Sometimes we make teacher decisions on what we track with me, read with me. I wanted to track with me the learning objective because it's got a lot of academic words and content vocabulary, but I'm going to chorally read the activating prior knowledge to get some fluency. So next, the next one we would have is gesture with me. Gesture with me is a cognitive kinesthetic activity to help retention of information. And if we can think of a gesture to help our students learn, we can attach a gesture to what we're doing. So that would look something like this. And again, we have to have our students doing this for them to have success. So what I'm going to do, I would need a nice, simple gesture that we're going to connect to a definition, and then we're going to connect it to an example. This is also our concept development. Everyone at home, this is a gesture I use with my teachers, how we teach concept development. Can everyone at home do this with me? The first thing is concept development is an academic definition. Everyone do this? Do this at home? It's an academic definition. Okay, we expose our students to academic definitions of context, but for them to contextualize, we give them multiple examples. Next thing, everyone do this? Multiple examples, and then we check for understanding with a higher order question. We're always exposing our students to academic definitions, but to make sure they understand it, they're not just repeating the definition, they're going to get multiple examples, and then we're going to ask a higher order question. This is what it would look like. All right, you're going to see track with me, read with me, and a gesture. My turn, class. A character is a person, animal, or thing in a story. Your turn, class. Everyone at home, read with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. A character is a person, animal, or thing in a story. Oh, you know how I'm going to remember that, everyone? Everyone do this with me. A character is a person. Point to yourselves. A character is a person because I'm a person. And characters in a story, those are people. They're characters. Or an animal. Everyone at home do that. An animal because animals have funny ears. Or thing in a story. Okay? That's a gesture. I'm attaching it to the definition. Characters talk or do something. Read with me. Characters talk or do something. So to be a character, you have to be a person, animal, or thing, but something very important. Do this. You have to talk. Look at me. I'm talking. Everyone do this. You have to talk or you have to do something that a person would do. So everyone do this. Now back to my teachers. This is an academic definition. Everyone do that? It's an academic definition. For kids to truly understand that, you have to give them multiple examples, possible non-examples. It looks something like that. I'm going to read it and then you're going to read it. One day, a little girl named Josie was crying at the park. Everyone read that with me. 1, 2, 3. One day, a little girl named Josie was crying at the park. Oh, look. Wait, I have a little girl. Everyone point to themselves. I have a little girl. That's Josie. Josie's a person and she's crying. So she's a person and she's doing something that a person would do. She's a character in my story. That's an example. She lost her ball. Everyone read. She lost her ball. Now remember, we have to explain the kids need to be reading. Obviously, they're not all going to be reading, but at least if I'm track with me, read with me, one of the side benefits is at least our non-readers are orally hearing it well, and we're still exposing them to this. The dancing frog said, I have a gift for you, Josie. All right, everyone at home, read with me. 1, 2, 3. The dancing frog said, I have a gift for you, Josie. Wait a second, class. I have a frog. It's an animal because it has funny ears and it's dancing. Everyone dance at home. Show me you're dancing at home, everyone. Oh, can frogs really dance? No, it's doing something that a person would do and it's also talking. I have a gift for you, Josie. So I know that frog is a character in my story. It's an animal. It dances like a person and it talks. That's why it's a character. It was a new ball. Everyone at home, read that for me. It was a new ball. Oh, but wait a second. Sometimes some things or animals aren't characters. Not a character. Everyone at home, do this. The ball, that's not a character because it never talked and it didn't do anything that a person would do. Okay, because what you have to be clear with non-examples because students, of course, kindergarten first. Wait a second, a ball bounces. A ball, I can kick the ball. Well, no, it has to do something that a person does so they don't have a misconception. Not a character, a gift. It is a thing, but it never talks and never does anything that a person does. That's why that's not a character. So now you come over here. What have I done for you? In concept development, I've given an academic definition. I've given multiple examples. I had to give a couple non-examples, and now we have a higher order question for our students. Can the monkey be a character in a story? Explain. Okay, we're going to do thumbs up for yes or thumbs down for no. Okay, everyone show me, can the monkey be a character in a story? And when you answer, you say, it can be a character because. So can I see all the teachers at home? You know, you could screen through your students and you could say something, and everyone, we're going to have to talk to our students. This is a different way of learning, but I have to make sure you're learning at home. I have to know if you are understanding this. That's why I'm calling on you, even our teachers at home. So I would go, Juarez Dulce, can you tell me if this is a character and how do you know?
I think it is a character because it has a face and it has arms and legs.
It has face, arms, and legs. And what do you call monkeys? What are they?
It is an animal.
That's right. But something, and this is how I can prompt my students. And I'm sorry I caught you off guard, Juarez, but you'll prep your students. I know that's what we call cognitive overload. Wait a second, I'm here having a cup of coffee. But that's what we're going to have to get to our students. But what else is that character? What is that monkey doing? What is it doing?
The monkey is playing a guitar.
Now, is that something a person would do? See that? Now they really, truly understand. They can clear up any misconceptions. Because a monkey might not be a character in a story. It might just be, just part of the story if it's doing something that a monkey does. So I need to show an example. I have Stacy, I have Juarez Dulce, and I have Maribel Cantu. I'm going to show you, eventually we can even differentiate with one question. When you start getting this, here's how we can do some differentiation. I'm going to show this next question. Can the park be a character in a story? Stacy, you're going to be a student who has a misconception, okay? You're going to put yes, okay? But you have a misconception. Your misconception, you think the park's a character because you've gone to a park when you answer, when I call on you, and the leaves blow. So the trees are moving. So it's doing something. So you think it's a character. Do you understand your response, Stacy? Okay. Now, Maribel, you will be my middle performing student, and you know it's not a character because it's not a person, animal, or thing, and it's not talking or doing something. Sometimes it's the setting. Okay. Now, Juarez, you're my high-performing student. I need to challenge you, okay? You know it's not a character. It's not a person, animal. It's a thing, but it's not doing anything. But to challenge you, how can I extend you? How could it become a character? And how could that tree become a character? Well, what would it have to do?
Talk.
It have to talk or do something. Kind of like I just saw the Disney movie, Pocahontas, the talking tree, right? That was a character. So here is how we are going to differentiate. So I never call on the wrong answer first. I see that Stacy has a misconception, and I go to Maribel. Maribel, I saw that you said, no, the park is not a character. Why do you think the park is not a character? And when you answer, you say, it's not a character because. Go ahead.
It is not a character because it does not move.
Very nice. And what else? And we're always prompting our students with the gesture. See how I continually go back to my gesture to support my students? That's a form of effective feedback. What else is the park not doing?
The park is also not talking.
Yes, it needs to talk or do something. Now, Stacy, what I'm doing this, I'm letting Maribel teach Stacy by echoing her answer. Now, I'll go to Juarez. Is the park, you said the park is not a character. Why is the park not a character? The park is not a character.
The park is not a character.
That's right, it's not talking or doing something. Could we make the park a character? What would it have to do?
To make the park a character, you have to make it talk.
Yes, that's right. So now Stacy has heard the correct answer a few times, and now I can ask her, Stacy, can you tell me if the park is a character or not? And more importantly, I can check for her misconception. If she still wants to tell me that it's a character because the leaves are blowing, then I can explain to her it's not a character because it's not doing something that, even though the leaves are blowing, it's not doing something that a person does. But that's how we can differentiate with one question. What I did right there, you saw all the engagement norms that we can use remotely. Pronounce with me, track with me, read with me. I used the gesture. Pair share we can't do because they're learning at home by themselves. But you would, if you were in the classroom, you'd have them pair share. Attention signal, you're going to have to get something for that. Whiteboards is the red dot, green dot. And complete sentences, I always prompted my students to answer in a complete sentence. Don't just say it's no, yes. Say it's not a character because. It is a character because. So those are all the engagement norms. And these are some little strategies. Obviously, we're going to have to refine them as we do this throughout. All right, I'll turn this back over to Sylvia.
We need to do the phonemic awareness. But before we do that, we want you to tell us through your chat one thing you learn about remote learning that you will be able to use right away. So go ahead and do that. Wow, great responses. We have to keep the students engaged. Absolutely. The brain that is not processing information is not learning. We have to use the engagement all the time. We have to engage them. We have to make sure that we're checking for understanding. The power of gestures. Great responses. Use a lot of hand gestures to keep the students engaged and learning the information. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to the other lesson because Joe did a reading comprehension lesson. That means that the students, we are assuming that the students already know how to read some of the words. Remember, the program is divided into reading foundation and in reading comprehension. Now I'm going to do a reading foundation lesson, teaching them the sounds of the language so they can start putting together words in the 4th week. So this one is a phonemic awareness lesson. Please don't show the students any letters for the pictures. The pictures are used as a proxy for the words because in phonemic awareness, the students are only using the sounds. We still use the engagement norms. We learn to read in 2 different ways. One, words are going to have letters and those letters are connected to sounds and that's why we can read them. But the other one is through by looking at the whole word. So that's what we're trying to do in this program. We're trying to get the students to read the words, but we also to start looking at the sounds. So today, the students might not even know how to read anything, but we still start by telling the students, practice. Can we all say practice? Can we all say it? Practice. Can we say it one more time? Practice. And the students, when we practice something, we're going to do it over and over and over again. Can we go like this, please? We're going to do it over and over and over again. So students and teachers, whenever you see these slanted lines, that means that you have to say the sound. Do not draw the attention to the students to the letter, it's only the sound. We're going to practice the t sound. Can we all say that? T sound. Can you all say it in your house? T sound. Very nice. Can I hear it? We're going to practice the t sound. That means that we're going to say it over and over and over again. Can we go like this? We're going to say it over and over and over again. Very nice. High five. Can you all give me a high five? High five. Very nice. So now, this is what we call the activate prior knowledge. Activating prior knowledge is something that the students already know that have this sound. These are the pictures, but over here on the bottom, we have the name of those pictures. It's only for you because the pictures can be very, very confusing. You don't know whether we're talking about the color here. We don't know if you're talking about an animal. We are talking about a tree. So students, this is a tree. Can we all say that? Tree. Can you say it? Can you say it again? And you know, the beauty of this is as a teacher, I can see you moving your mouth. So I can call out, Carlitos, I don't see you moving your mouth. Can I see you moving your mouth again? Tree. Can we all say tree? Tree. Very nice. Give me a high five. Now, tiger. Can you all say tiger? Remember, I'm watching if you're moving your mouth. Can you all say it? Tiger. Very nice. One more time. Tiger. Very nice. Students, if I hear these words at the beginning, I hear the t sound. Can you all tell me? I hear the t sound. Very nice. I want to see those lips moving. Can I see them? Very nice. Students, that's what we're going to practice over and over again. We're going to practice the t sound. High five. Very nice. So now these lessons are already done for you, but you have to put on the beef. And the way we put on the beef is by doing engagement all along with the students. Whether we're in the classroom or not in the classroom, we have to make sure that the students are engaging with us. So I'm just going to make this very fast because I know that I only have 5 more minutes to do this. If you take a look at the little microphone here, that we have actually pre-recorded the sounds for you. So if you want to do that, you can do the sounds by looking at the microphone. And then this is so crucial what I'm going to say because this is the beginning of the students learning to read. Words are made of sounds. Can you say sounds for me, please? Sounds. Students, some words, not all of them, they have the t sound. Can you tell me which sound? The t sound. Very nice. Let's say it one more time. They have the t sound. If you teach students this throughout the whole year, you're actually beginning to connect the alphabetical principle for them because this is the basis of learning how to read. So students, when I say tiger, can you all say tiger? Can you all say it one more time? Tiger? Students, I hear the t sound. Can you go like this, please? I hear the t sound. Very nice. All of you give me a high five. And then you will do this for all of this. And then, of course, you will give them not the sound here for non-examples. And then, as you'll show you, you also are going to be checking for understanding. So that's the way you will actually do these lessons. You will keep the students engaged, and you will actually use the whiteboards. And now, students, when we say two, can you all say two?
Two.
Can you say it one more time?
Two.
I want you to show me. Do you hear the t sound? Thumbs up if you do, thumbs down if you don't. At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We can all hear the t sound. Very nice. All of you give me a high five. 2 high fives this time. Very nice. Okay, Joel?
Yes. So we are at the 3-minute mark. So if you have any questions for us regarding the program, you can go ahead and unmute yourself right now, or you can put it in the chat.
Joel, can you step over to Sylvia's computer and click the teacher instruction button and show the teachers some of these things Sylvia is saying, they're actually written on the page.
Throughout the program, you'll find that there's always a little teacher instruction button. Of course, this is designed so you're able to pick it up right away. However, for the first week or two, you may want to just click on that to just read little notes. We'll go ahead and go with final comments if there isn't any other questions. John, was there any last comments you have before we go?
I just want to make sure we all know the teacher's not just going down the page telling the page. The teacher's reading, then the students read. The teacher says a word, the students do it. The teacher asks a question, the students hold up and explain. So don't just read the page to the students. The students have to participate really on every single sentence with gestures, with reading, point to the words, you're going to ask the questions. So make sure the students are there and you don't fall in that little trap where you just start talking down the page. I did that one time by mistake and somebody said, John, you're just droning. You're teaching yourself. You're not teaching the students. So make sure the students are on every single part. They read this, they say these, they look up here, they do the not, they do all the gestures. And I'm telling you, for the non-readers, the gestures are very, very important. Older students can just read the page. They can keep up by looking back. The beginning readers can't go back and just look at the page. So the gestures is what's keeping them cued.
Yes.
And I was going to say, we'll finish up with Sylvia here, but I really like the part where Joe was sharing, where he did that differentiation with a single question and hit the students at 3 different levels. That's my favorite part of this whole thing. Sylvia, you have the last word, and then we'll let everyone go.
Yes, and another thing that was very beneficial is that looking at all of you, I was able to see whether you were doing some of your gestures, so you can actually keep all the kids engaged by just looking at them, because there's so much interaction. Hopefully, we're going to see our kids pretty soon, but in the meantime, this is the next best option that we have. If you have any questions, please let us know, and then have a great year.
Thank you very much, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you.